Hi, I'm Mark, Senior Counselor at Pet Camp in San Francisco, California, and this is another one of our question mark videos. Today I'm going to be answering the question, what's the difference between dog boarding, pet sitting, and home care? These are the three major options you have when you need care for your pet in most urban settings. You can bring your dog or cat to a pet care facility, such as Pet Camp. You can have a pet sitter, and then lastly, you can do in-home care when you have your pet stay in somebody else's home. Now, all three are readily available, and there's pros and cons to all three of them. So I'm just going to go through some high-level pros and cons to each of these concepts. You know, of course, let me be completely clear, I'm biased. I think Pet Camp and other really quality pet care facilities are the right answer, but I'm going to let you decide for yourself. So let's start in sort of reverse order. We're going to start with in-home care, right? And there are two options when it comes to in-home care. The first is your dog stays at your own house and someone comes to visit you. That's sort of similar to the pet sitter model, but you actually have someone spending the night at your house. And the second option is that your pet goes and stays at somebody else's house while you're away. So let's talk about why these are good and bad, right? Like having your pet stay at your own home, frankly, might sound really appealing to you. I get it, right? And the notion of having someone come and stay at your house means that they can do other things. They can water your plants, take in your newspaper if you still get one of those things, you know, your mail if you still get mail, etc. But of course, you're having somebody you really don't know stay at your house. There's pros and cons to that, as we all can sort of imagine. Having your pet stay at somebody else's house also has limitations to it. Frankly, somebody else's house isn't necessarily designed for the safety and care of your dog. Even if they have their own dog, their house might be set up for their dog and it's not your dog. There's a complete lack of regulation and accountability when it comes to this kind of stuff. And frankly, there's a lack of training and resources available to these people often. So yes, there's some advantages, but there's a lot of disadvantages. When it comes to pet sitting, you know, pet sitting, many people will derogatorily refer to it as like pet checking, because that's kind of what's happening in most cases. Like someone is coming in and checking in on your pet for a limited amount of time. Half an hour, 20 minutes, 15 minutes. Again, there's upside that someone is coming into your house and they can water your plants and do those other things we just talked about. But really, it is a pretty limited duration. They're taking care of your pet for a limited amount of time. They're not providing continuous care. You have the downside of someone you don't necessarily know checking in on, coming into your house. You might have your neighbor doing it, which is great. You do know your neighbor, but your neighbor is probably not trained in pet care. So again, you're facing this issue of an untrained person coming into your house, lacking training, lacking support, lacking resources. And frankly, even if you hire someone through one of the platforms that are out there are two major platforms, though one is in very much financial distress. These are independent contractors that are coming into your house, and the platform takes no responsibility. So you are not hiring someone supported by a hedge fund to come into your house. You're hiring an individual who, if something goes wrong, they're kind of strung out to dry by the platform, and sadly, so are you. So lastly, we have taking your dog to a professional pet care facility. And let me say that I do think this is generally the right answer for most dogs and cats. You've got professionally trained staff. You have health and safety requirements. I mean, anyone who's bringing their dog or cat to a professionally run pet care facility, they're going to require vaccines. They're going to do nose to tail checks. They're going to do weight checks. They're going to do a whole bunch of stuff that a professionally run facility is going to have available. You're going to have options for your pet. Even your cat, you're going to have options about what you want them to do. Socialize, enrichment, whatever it might be. You're going to have care 24/7 or really close to that. You know, it's not going to be someone checking in for 20 minutes or 30 minutes. These are people whose job it is to be here taking care of your dog or cat. And of course, pet care facilities are designed for pets. You know, they're not your house, they're not your neighbor's house. They're going to have proper disinfecting technology, proper ventilation technology. They're going to have cleaning equipment that's designed for dogs and cats. Now, let me be clear that there are downsides to any decision, including this one, right? a professionally run pet care facility is going to be more expensive than anyone you hire off of those platforms or the 13-year-old kid you got from next door. They just are more expensive. There's a reason for it, but they are. And second of all, just like the other two options I already discussed, there is not complete regulation of pet care facilities. So it is incumbent on you as the pet parent to ask questions. Call the place, visit the place, tour the place. Ask your questions. This is your pet. Do the right thing by them, do the right thing by you. But I do think if you go to a professionally run pet care facility, you're probably making the best choice for you and your pet. So, send in your questions, ask anything you want, happy to answer them. I'll explain my biases, and I'll try to do right by you and your pet. Thanks for asking. This is Question Mark. Till next time.